も全てもやめない好きない君の笑顔が恋しくて星に願うのまた会えるよね恋も弱りで sweet 何をしてても daydreaming yeah 君の言葉繰り返し寝ても覚めてもやめないそっけない君の笑顔が恋しくて星に願うのまた会えるよね
Welcome back, everybody, to Zenith League. We've got a great Division 1 matchup here today. If you were around here last split, you know my name. My name's Shadowdeller. Joined alongside me is the lovely Ami. Ami, how are you doing today? How you feeling?
I'm feeling really excited for this game between the PXL being right now the best team in Division One. Really excited to see finally to have them on our screen and to see how will they behave playing against Nova Outlaws. It's gonna for sure be an interesting match.
It's definitely going to be interesting, especially. I mean, PXL are definitely the far and away best team right now, but they haven't faced all the teams yet. Maybe you have something up your sleeve. The other thing is, when you're the number one team, a lot of teams are game planning for you. Every team has a special folder named the PXL Esports folder, and they have been plotting for you. I wonder how deep Nova have in their research for this match as we get into the draft. This should be an interesting one.
Yes, we have PXL being a blue side game one. Let's see what they will pick. Honestly, so far the bounce went more or less how I expected. I expected more of a Huawei ban for PXL, going for target bounce, but Seraphine makes sense. Probably don't want to face the Tash Seraphine from Nova Atlas being really strong in recent game, like recent pro play games. So yeah, that's a reasonable ban. And
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of strong bot lane duos, and I feel like the higher and higher we go in the ranks, the more and more that strong bot lane duo matters. So I like to see the fact that we're banning away things like the Seraphine and Karma that can work so well with some of the strongest bot laners. And obviously the Varus is going to be interesting, and the Ashe is going to be picked anyways with the Nocturne.
Dash comes anyway, so we won't have Ash Seraph in this series. I mean, playing against Varus, doing some sort of really high poke comp with strong dive can work. It's for sure a gamble because generally Varus behaves really well against against peak comps. But Ash is a good answer to the champion, and with a good support, Nocturne can be as well. I would expect more of of an enchanter probably from the side of Novaulus now, rather than an engager in support. Probably considering the pools, uh, I think we might see something, maybe even like the Sun Enchanter, or the Bard from Ixnark.
Yeah,
Uh,
this is an interesting one because you really don't see Ash without Seraphine, and they said, "Hey, we know we're not going to have Seraphine, and we're going to slam Ash anyways." So I do wonder what is going to be paired alongside it, but we're just seeing some strong kind of disengaged picks in response to the Nocturne. The Crescent Guard and the Scatter of the Weak are obviously great with it, and then Ahoy in response. That mid lane fight is definitely going to be a spicy one. But as we get into the back half of bans, I mean, we have supports and top laners left to be picked. What pools would you like to see them shorten?
I think from the side of Nova Outlaws, they should for sure try to focus the support, and I think both teams should focus the support in this game. I think it's so important. Nova Outlaws probably need something that can support that long range with Huayash. Probably considering they picked Wei, I think Bard still is the best champion they can pick. I expect them to go for a R5, R4 Bard in that slot, if it's not banned from the side of PXL, and expect PXL also to ban the Braum, because you have Cinder, you have Shin, you have Varus. You for sure don't want to have that champion playing against you, because like I think for like in any case it's gonna be either Braum or Bard picked in the first slot by Nova Outlaws. Uh, So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
just curious to see which one.
Yeah, but we're not really seeing those bans. I mean, we have a Camille in the top lane, which tells me they may be picking a tank in the top lane if you don't want to face a Camille. Now, this is a ban I wanted to see if this comes through. Is I was going to say, I do not want to see a coming out for the side of Nova, and the Nautilus does come ban, excuse me, does come through. And that's precisely what I wanted to see banned. But I think too, I mean, you mentioned it. There's still a really strong pick in the Bard left on the table, but I almost wonder if these teams know something that we don't, because that's the thing.
And
These
that's the
teams are
other one I
sitting
said.
studying their team comps, and there's the other one. I was gonna say that maybe they don't feel comfortable on the Bard and they go towards the Braum, and the Braum is just such a solid pick here into the opponent's comp.
Yeah, probably like I can see why they decided to ban the Camille, because Neef is mainly a tank player, so he doesn't really want Camille played against him, especially in a pick comp like the one that the Nova Atlas have against any of the champion in his champion pool. But at the same
There's the
time, it's
Bard.
yeah, he arrived.
Omi
And
knows
what will they
ball.
pairing with? I
Yeah,
can see a Malphite angle, but like it might be the pick. It's a little bit
the
hard
thing
to
is,
be
you
against
don't
the
have a
Huey.
great follow up for the Malphite. Like, you're kind of playing a more poke disengaged comp, not really a comp that wants to run up into a very dangerous situation. And it will be a kind of stock standard Scion to be the front line. Can't say I'm super surprised at that. Scion's just been so strong. A little fun fact is Scion mid is making a resurgence and is starting to pick up traction in some regions. But I mean, as this final pick comes in, what do you want to see here?
I'm really curious. Shen is a
Oh,
really good pick actually. The combo with the Nocturne is great, and is generally a really good tank to play against Sion. Uh, it's not really a handshake matchup actually. Shen is able to win it most of the times. He has a lot of tools to counter the Sion, so I really like the pick here from Peanut.
now I need to know your opinion. Ami, who won the draft here?
I think, in my opinion, it's a for sure win from Nova Outlaws in this draft. I really like the disengage possibility and
Oh,
the
my headset died.
range advantage they have, even if they can be punished really hard if they make a mistake. But Braum is such a key champion in this comp that really counters the whole point of the PXL comp, because I think PXL won't really be able to do the um, poke aspect of the comp because of the presence of a higher range. At the same time, I'm kind of confused by the Nocturne pick. Like, it was really high, it wasn't really supported to be played with a comp like that, so Nocturne has been really countered. So I think a lot of the how this game will go will be based on the jungle matchup, on how much will RWT be able to counter gank the Nocturne and impact his lanes better than the opponent. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
I I gotta agree. I feel like, I mean, honestly, I would say Nova has won the draft. It'll be easy to say they won the draft had the Nocturne not be sitting here, because the problem is you're playing with a bunch of champions who don't really want to go in with you. Yes, Shen can ult the Enchanted Crystal arrow, and so many more ults can follow up, but you don't really have a champion who's saying, "Hi, I can dive the long distance with you." Now, I always do love a good Shen pick. Shen does surprising amounts of damage. And the other thing about the Shen is the fact that I mean, he's just such anti-gank material. Any 2 versus 1 suddenly turns into a 2 versus 2. Anytime you think you have a pick in the side lane, here comes the Shen, and everything like that is really been popularized by Broken Blade in the LEC, which, as a G2 fan, I love to see that Broken Blade is shifting the meta. But that's the thing, is this Nocturne kind of feels out of place. So I'm really gonna look at the jungler to Nova to really justify why this was picked.
Yeah, and also a good thing about Shen is that you really picked Shen in a good draft frame, because you can like, you are not suffering a lot from leaving Sion to take resources in side lane as much as you would be suffering with a stronger carry champions, like for example, if PXL ended up with a Zahan or stuff like that Neef plays. So you really can be that factor that makes a Nocturne more worth, because he can be able to do the follow up the Nocturne needs. Um, but at the same time, yeah, it's really, the spot is a lot on how much can Nova Outlaws support your Nocturne, and I think that
Yeah,
it's not great that they put themselves in this kind of ugly situation when it's going to be harder to play for their jungler.
yeah, and this is I like to use a term for this that I learned from a chess content creator. You're entering the deep, dark woods. Once this Nocturne goes in, you are relying on long range ults to really follow him up. The thing is, though, I mean, there are definitely some champions that he can have a heyday with if he gets onto them, that Varus especially. But the thing is, there's a good amount of disengage for this Nocturne, and I feel like maybe it's part of why they decided to peel away from a dive comp, is the fact that you have the Crescent Guard, the Scatter the Weak, the Bard Ultimate. I mean, that's just that's just a hardcore anti-dive material. So at the same time, I like that they're not trying to force a dive comp here, because dive comps are my absolute favorite comp to watch. But the problem is, against so many disengaged tools, it's just not too pretty. But also, the Ash kind of tells me they weren't really playing for the dive comp anyways. Which is why I'm still just a little bit confused. And this doesn't feel as much like a pivot and more like a pick, maybe of like, hey, I like to play these champions.
Yeah, at this point, I'm confused why they would have went to Nocturne instead of like a Jarvan. Probably it is just a matter of confidence and of what they prefer to play. What I would like to see this game also as a way to make that Nocturne work way better in the comp is to have a Nocturne build that is more on the tanky side, more of a Juggernaut-like Nocturne. So. Um, really, really HP heavy items like I don't know, after the experimental exploit is that how it's called, like the one that gives you ult CDR and the attack speed and stuff.
Yeah.
And after that, I can expect something even like, for example, Stark's Gauge or stuff that makes Nocturne survive longer. Maybe Death Dance, stuff in that direction that can make Nocturne survive longer and wait for the peel from Huey, wait from Burma Shan to come, and so the disengage from PXL won't be that big of a problem for him. At the same
Yeah.
time,
And
I think it's important to see what are on the other side the PXL's winning conditions, because they have some, and the main one is that the really really menacing Varus debut one on that bot lane. What do you think about it?
yeah, I think the Varus is going to be really nice here, especially because I mean they don't have a great way to close the gap for the side of Nova outside of the Nocturne. But I also almost wonder, I mean, you were talking about how to build the Nocturne, and I kind of had this thought, maybe he isn't your form of primary engage, because I mean you could always use the Braum ultimate in order to try to get some engage going. And maybe once you catch a member out, that's when you use the Nocturne ultimate. If this Varus is caught in the wrong spot, that Nocturne is going in. Going on to the Syndra, not so easy. Same with pretty much the rest of the team. But I feel like this Nocturne can definitely bait some things out.
Yeah, it's gonna be really a really really interesting thing to watch during this game, and I think we should be in game real soon. I saw some concern about it in the chat, so I wanted to address that. Um, but yeah, I think this is pretty much what to expect from the game. I think it's gonna be a really mid and bot focus game, and it's gonna be for the most part really jungle matchup heavy game, and also support. I think because Bard can be a really strong tool to disengage and to disrupt Novatus draft.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how this is really going to be executed. I think, again, just my biggest question is, how are you utilizing this Nocturne? I mean, the last time I said, hey, a Nocturne's really out of place in a comp, you went 11-0. So maybe I need to not judge Nocturnes. And that's the thing, is that regardless of what kind of comp you have, he can still be very useful, even if you don't have the full dive comp. And so we're just gonna have to wait and see. We should be getting into the game shortly. For the person in chat, we do have the natural 3-minute spectator delay, and then we also have a few minutes of delay on the main broadcast, just to ensure fairness for all players involved. But we should be getting in shortly. And on the, I mean, as we wait to get into this, what's your highlight lane for this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I think from like also what I said earlier, I think it's gonna be the bot lane. I think it's the most interesting lane to watch in this game. But at the same time, I think mid lane can be also a really really interesting matchup. Also because we have Acho on his for sure best champion in Hawaii, and Bram Gaibu on a scene that he really loves to play as well. And here we are, finally on the Summoner Swift. Oh, we have some creative level ones. Trying to setting up something interesting in the bot lane. And in the top lane as well.
Yeah, go. Sorry,
Everything
one
will-
second. Had a little bit of issues, but as this level 1 starts off, I mean, the early back and the early flash, I mean, Not what you want to see if you're PXL. That's so early on to lose it. Now, the only good news about using it so early is you're going to have it back pretty early before the junglers really get their gank potential online. Especially, you have a Nocturne. You know he's not really going to be visiting the lanes all that often before level 6. But do you expect this Xin Zhao to kind of take advantage of that and go for some early ganks? Or do you think he just wants to farm the 6 as well?
I think he will farm to 6, also because like he started top, so I really want to be able to come bot for the time. But Varus didn't take the level 2 because he lost 1 million XP. I'm surprised Xnerk is not trying to be more aggressive in this spot, trying to find pokes and to find positive trades on the Varus with 1 level advantage. And yeah. No, I think the advantage won't be used.
For Malaples in chat, is it Bramgi Gu? I'm American. I'm probably not pronouncing half of these names correctly. I'm going to be completely honest with you. That's what I tell people is I'm an American. It's not my fault. Blame my disability called Americanism. But as this one starts off, I mean, early on, nothing super notable. Do you see anything with the runes on me that really surprises you here?
I think from looking at the runes now, I think everything is pretty normal. I think it's interesting the choice of Brome to go for a spellbook instead of a Guardian in this lane, maybe. But overall, I can understand the reason. Also, you have the cookies to give your sustain. And actually, I really like this recall from your. The wave was really good, and you got a Battle Cheetah recall. And now with the pressure, they can actually use the gank that you talked about before. Killer will go to ward and to spot the Nocturne. And Nocturne will go for probably an invade just to get some vision. And recall.
Yeah. And I mean, early on, it's gonna be the Scuttle Crabs being traded out, and no one really wants to fight early here, and nobody wants to take any early risks. I mean, Nova are sitting at 1-1, while PXL are sitting at 3-0. So for PXL, I mean, do you think being 3-0 puts more pressure on you to win this, or do you think it's a little bit less because you know you're that good?
I think we're a little bit early in the season to define stuff like that, because they're still, like the round for players is still pretty much open to everyone. Oh, this is not a good trade, but it flashes in any way. They can try to find the kill.
Yeah, and Killy just doesn't have enough damage. Oh. Yes, he does actually, and with the heal, he's gonna stay alive. Yoru will find the kill in response, but I'm not even trying to say that name, man. The Bard going to chase down Yoru and realizes he doesn't quite have the movement speed or the damage to do so. But a lot of summoners wasted, and you saw right there, the effect of having the flash early on at the level 1 comes back to bite Killy there, as he did not have his flash.
Yeah, what I didn't understand is, like, if you want to play with this kind of aggressive playstyle, why do you decide to go for the colors the first back? Like, I would have understood this choice if they went for a more aggressive item that could have brought more damage to the 2v2, but flashing in, trying to force a fight on the Varus without even a good damaging item, you ended up just giving in the kill because they have more damage in the kit with Bard, especially with Electroshock. Oh, and this is a solo kill from Neef on Binsmarf. Hey.
Yeah, and that's just a great job by Neef to use the ultimate. He just ticked over to level 6, and Pinna Smurf was ready for him to turn to 6 and instantly smash the R button. It perfectly works out. And now the question is, do they want to go for the dive? And no, they did not. So that would have been an that would have been an early risk. instead they want to try to take control of this middle to top side. I think they have a little bit of awareness of where this Nocturne is, and the bot lane, I mean, Nier is just realizing, hey, something's up, and by the time you make it home to check on your house, it's already been robbed.
Yeah, I would like about this to. Oh wait, after the replay of the fight.
Yeah, this is what happened there. I mean, Nier just maybe a little bit over ambitious here, but the big thing is they know Killy doesn't have the flash just yet, which is why they wanted to try to force something. Now, obviously, it ends up as a 1-for-1, but
yeah, that hit
Yoru
was so
also, in response, does get a kill and gets a little extra CS, and so it wasn't absolutely terrible. But Killy did his best, and for this Bard, you can only do so much. But that's just how it goes sometimes. I mean, Killy just didn't have his flash. He really couldn't do anything about that play, as the Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to go wide, and Yoru does tick over to level 6 first. Definitely a little something to keep in mind. I always like to look at that level imbalance, as Nier is going to be in a lot of danger, and he has to back up. Killy's damage is starting to ramp up, and I think you're seeing the difference of buying that call versus not, as the mid laners are having a little bit of a dance in the river. I mean, you decided not to fight in the boxing ring, so you fought in the locker room. But with both these junglers passing down, or pathing down, excuse me, do you think we're gonna try to see them start making plays now that they're at level 6s?
I think they will try probably to make a play in bot, considering also how much Yoru and Nirka are being aggressive, but wait, the place is almost being played in the top lane. That Sion is really, really low. Because Mark is trying to find the revenge from the solo kill that Nif did on him earlier. No, what I wanted to say is I expect Nocturne to try to look for plays in bot lane. Like we are seeing Nirk and Yoru being really, really aggressive and always trying to find kills. Also, yeah, we are seeing the sidestep from Varus, from Keely in there.
Yeah,
and okay, I want to highlight something. I think RWT's pathing is being really good this game. I think his pathing that led to his invade also at the start of the game brought already him with the one more camp and then the recall, and he got the Drake earlier. And now he's again earlier on the objective on this Void Guard, and he also has one level more time coming to help him.
Yeah, but he's got to get here quickly. Paranoia going to be using the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Is going to land, and the Nocturne's going to go in, and he's going to be able to pick up the kill as the Chen is here as well. And the stun doesn't come through from Neef. Neef had to get that, and he won't. Pinnock gonna flash forward, gets the kill, and the cost of the Void Grubs is 2 of your own. As that is the exact reason why people like to take 2 Void Grubs and leave. And just getting a little overambitious, and I think that is just a miscommunication. As let me make sure I pronounce this name correctly. Bram Gibu did not realize that Akio, I'm American. Give me a break. He did not really realize that Akio was rotating here.
Yeah, I think it was really, really good. Good punish of that fight. Actually, it was a really, really fast PXL were really, really fast and well, I can't look. no battles were really fast at closing on that Nocturne and punishing him for trying to pull the rope a little bit too much until it broke. And now they almost evened out the advantage.
Yeah, and this is where I think that miscommunication comes in, is that, hey, it really doesn't leave when Akio starts going, and by the time they understand what is going on, it's just a little too late. A beautiful Enchanted Crystal Arrow comes through, and with the Shen ultimate as well. I mean, this is exactly what I talked about. Suddenly, your 2 versus 2 turns into, your 3 versus 2 turns into a 3 versus 3, and it completely flips the fight on its head. And so definitely need to see a bit more caution with this Nocturne ultimate as it's going to be used now. Maybe not cautious enough as the Crescent Garden Flash is going to be used, but he's going to be knocked up with the Braum ultimate, and he's just going to be dead to rights, pulled into a watery grave as he just caught overstepping again, and Nova are not willing to let this go, but you can see PXL don't want to let it go either. 3 versus 4, and they like those odds. They want to give this a look if they can. Bram in the front line looking to get anything done, but they don't have the smite here to use. Scatter the Weak's gonna push them back, and both teams opt to back off, knowing it's a bit too risky.
Yeah, it was really, like, I talk really good about RWT's pathing and everything, but this time he was there trying to look again, pulling the rope too much. The moment he was bought without even a recall, he had more minions, he had more CS than he could. Oh, there is a flash in ground Gibu and a solo kill, Maxio. Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
And this is kind of what you needed after a couple of rough fights. I will say PXL still do have a gold lead by about 1,000, but this is what you want, is you want to get it going for your mid laner, as now Neef is going to be in a lot of danger again. He's going to use the ultimate to try to back him off, and it perfectly works. But this is interesting out of Varus, the experimental hex play, as the jungler is going to catch each other in the river and do not want to give up possession, but the mid laner is here. Teleports to the top and bottom side will help back everyone down, as the Shen using the ultimate to get to the bot side where the play is going to be, and the ADC is already down. Dykler trying to get out of here, but absolutely not. Flash forward from the Ash is going to find an arrow through the heart, and everything's going right for Nova, as it may go right even further. A lot of danger in the mid lane here. Brand's gonna try to get out of there, and the ultimate will take his life away. All you can do is watch the flames engulf your body, as it's a 3-0 across the rift.
Playing on bot, playing on mid, they just can't stop trying to fight these fights and winning everything. Holy play from Nova Autos here.
And we were judgmental of this Nocturne. We were kind of questioning how it was going to work, but you're seeing it work off in spades here. And this is the thing, is it's just about, you're not really looking to engage every battle, but really just when you find that angle, make sure it doesn't go by the wayside. Look at the numbers, 1-0-4, and with that 1,000 gold lead swinging to the other side, you gotta be feeling good from this position.
Yeah, and almost all the gold lead is on that Ash that we said being so important in this game. This won't be an Ashe that just ults and waits for the team to win the fight. This is gonna be an Ashe with really heavy arrows.
Yeah, and I mean, right now, you can see they're going to try to make a play to the bottom side. Yoru has been the aggressive one all game long. Hopefully the over-aggression won't get him, and they can sense it. They just know something's going on, and this is the one thing about trying to create plays on the bot side, is that when you stand a bit too aggressively, the other team starts to pick up the fact that something's weird. I would say Killy needs to be a bit more careful there with how aggressively positioned he was, as it just kind of gave away the fact that he was playing Damsel in Distress.
Why did Nerf decided to not take that word?
I don't know, but this is what happened on the bot side. The bar doesn't hear, and the ultimate went awry. Killy thought he had the angle on Yoru, and oh my goodness, the Shen ultimate, absolutely beautiful. And Pinnet Smurf is going to be credited with a hell of a lot in this game if it goes their way.
Yeah, really, he's doing a really good Shen, except for that small mistake in the top that brought to the first kill from Sion. What a good Shannon we're seeing from him.
Yeah, Yeah, and now, I mean, as this one goes on, we have 30 seconds until the next Drake. I mean, the gold is even, so I don't really expect either team to really make it a super aggressive play for it, but it's going to be another aggressive 2v2 in the bottom side as all the abilities are going to be used, and the Bard Ultimate's going to land on 2, but the Chains of Corruption go wide. Flash forward from near, ultimate down to 2, teleport coming into the bot lane, here comes the Shen. You're trying to make an impact. Arrows out, not gonna get up, and Grandma's gonna be here, but he's gonna have to flash away, and it is flashing forward. Nocturne ultimate comes out. They may look for this dive, and now it's gonna be the jungler caught out, and he's gonna have to flash away. And all these players are ready to go, but somehow everyone walks away with their life. Hold on, we make it a little something more. This Bard is walking a little bit into unknown territory. Ultimate is not enough, but the ability absolutely will be. As Killy's gonna look for a little bit something more. Piz will just be happy to take the Drake. And that is the kind of bloodbath we expect from these two teams. Maybe a little bit more. Here comes Akio trying to get something on the kill. Pull him back. Mir wants to go forward, and Akio's gonna grab him. His life will go down in vain as there's no trade from Bram, and it's absolutely beautiful.
Oh my god. Yes, what are, like, how are Nova Altos fighting is really, really good actually. This is the strength of this kind of team count, like the Shen and Nocturne we talked about. We didn't see the actual combo, but we saw the power of the team managing to come in 5 every time there is a team fight. And also though, I want to say that the PXL fight looked really strong at the start, but probably miscommunication happened between the ADC and support when the chain of corruption was stopped by Bard's ultimate that didn't make them move into the chains. So Varus couldn't eat it, and they ended up without 2 of the main defensive other than offensive tools they have, and being at the complete mercy of the enemy team. This is and I think Nova Outlaws noticed that and went for a full punish with everyone and the Drake and all the big amount of kills.
Yeah, and the thing is, it feels like PXL just aren't really... I mean, they obviously aren't firing on all cylinders, but it just feels like there's some miscommunications, and you're especially seeing it in the bot side, as Nier has to be careful not to get too aggressive here. It is a 3 versus 3, but PZZ is going to opt to back off. It's 3 minutes until the next Drake spawns, and Infernal Drakes, one of the best in the game. You definitely want to stack them, as this bot lane turret will start to get chipped away. But Ami, I mean, it still is a 1k gold lead, definitely close, but what do PXL need to do to make sure next time that fight doesn't go awry?
The interesting thing is that PXL are now in a really hard situation where they should be the ones engaging, but you can't really engage into that. You don't really have the tools right now, so probably the best way would be actually... Oh wait, but there is a fight in the Goblin course.
The Bard ultimate's too late.
Won't be enough.
I mean, I hate to say it, but these Bard ultimates are just coming in way too late. They're coming in at the wrong time, and that's the thing about the Bard, is he's such an amazing champion, but he can be really hard to play and really hard to do perfectly. But Pinna's going to be in a lot of danger as RWT is somehow doing so much damage. The teammates have to jump in like bouncers at a nightclub. Gonna kick him out. Enchanted Crystal Arrow will land, and they will not hit the go button there. Killy was in a lot of danger, but they opted to back off with the blinking health bars.
And that's the difference between how these two teams are playing right now. Nova Outlaws are all on the same page all the time. This is really, really beautiful to see. And what I was trying to say before is that PXL have to try to focus on your main tools of disengage and re-engage are the Virus and the Bard ult, but you won't be able to do that if they keep doing that.
Pinit said, get down, Mr. President. Accio was in a lot of danger from the charging Nipa. It's not going to be enough as Pinit dove in front, but the decimating smash is going to come through.
Nerf is there
Accio's
as
in a lot
well.
of danger, and they got to get him out of there now. Reef charging forward, or Neef, excuse me, but Pinit's still in this front line, not afraid to take this damage. Brim's doing a lot though. Front line gonna go down as the Yoru's backup is just not enough. Bard ultimate out to the tower, and then Nocturne ultimate's gonna be used. Does he want to go? Does he want to do it? Absolutely not. He'll let him back down. But these two teams are not afraid to throw hands. They still may not be done. PZZ wants a little bit more, but Neef is gonna be healing up from the berries, and this one should be backed away. This Drake should be claimed by the side of PXL, but their health bars are blinking. They need to be careful here.
This was such a smart Nocturne ulti from Pulse J. I used it the moment the other team could engage on them, removing their ability to.
I want to go to the replay, but these guys may fight right now. These guys may fight right now. The ultimate's gonna land on a 3. Crescent Guard is gonna be popped to keep PZZ away, but they don't have a way to go forward, and PZZ's in a lot of danger, and he's just gonna go down. It's on the back side. There goes Accio. Bram is activated. Bram is activated. He's got the one off, and here comes the rest of them. Neef is going to be going down, and Bram makes the important plays for his team, and now he has to make one more to keep him away. Scatter the Weak gonna keep him against the wall, and Bram is just doing absolutely everything for his team in this fight. As Yoru's gonna try to fight him off, but it's not gonna be enough. Barrier gonna be popped. Bram in a lot of danger. RWT is gonna come through, and it's 5 members dead for one side, 3 members dead for the other, and these two teams are spilling blood across the rim.
What an insane fight from PXL. You're almost solo-handedly kept the fight alive the whole time. Unfortunately for Novarlos, he didn't see the Bard and couldn't kill him even when he was in the backline. So we didn't have the possibility to carry.
We finally get a chance to look at replays. This is that top side a while ago, and then we'll take a look over at that bottom side in a second, as Pinit just did a great job to focus on the turret, and you can see everyone charging in. Not gonna be enough to keep Neef protected. The Bard ult came in late, and I'd love to get another look at the bottom side fight and then the river fight if we can. But these two teams, that's the thing. It's even gold across the board, even Drakes across the board. These two teams are ready to fight at a moment's notice, especially when you have a Nocturne going in, and they found the carry. Bren's gonna be in a lot of danger now. Zaki is gonna try to help get PCC out of there, but RWT is gonna do a lot of work with the Crescent Guard, but the Shadow ultimate comes through. PCC is alive on the rip up, and Pinit is gonna be here in the front line, and finally they back him down. Absolutely, I don't even know the right word. That was absolutely amazing that PZZ escaped. That was just, oh my goodness. I mean, Pinit, I know your ult provides a lot of shielding, but my God, you can stop giving us heart attacks.
Yeah, this was another really good ultimate by Pinit Marp. And yeah, the fact that Novarlos escaped from there is really insane. Also, Yoru being really important with his Ash ultimate, stopping the rest of the enemy team from collapsing onto them. But this time we won't be able to.
Oh, Yoru's just gonna get blown up immediately with the Bard ult landing, and they're gonna want to look for a little bit more as RWT is gonna be ulted by the Hui. It's not going to do nearly enough. Near K is gonna be in a lot of danger, and they will get a turret back on the bottom side, as Pinit did not opt to use his teleport there. But both of these teams, I mean, they are just absolutely scrapping here, and I mean, I'm all here for it. But now you're gonna have to start to look at those objectives. The thing is, the dragon that moves one of these two teams to Soul Point is coming up in 2.5 minutes. The Baron is on the table. Yes, it's fun to just fight. But if you mess up at one moment, that could be the game right there with the Baron on the table and such an important Drake coming up.
Yeah, I think from now, from this moment of the game, Navarro should stop pressing the throttle and start breaking a little. I don't think they should keep looking for fights. They already found a lot. I think only if Ash can find a really good ult on the enemy team, they might want to play a pick more than a fight. But I think they should start playing more defensively, because they are the team with the range advantage, or the team that can play more defensively between the two.
Yeah, and they got to be careful here. RWT wants Near K, and Near K's just overstepped. Absolutely blown to smithereens. And that's what happens at this point in the game. And that may just be the Baron. They're actually going to set their eyes on it. Now, yeah, Pinit does have the ultimate, though. So this one, not going to go out into the night unchallenged. This one, it will have some contention. They're actually looking to back off. They realize Pinit teleported up here, and they do not want to take that risk. And they will opt to back down. But, I mean, this one is just not going to be done yet, as Zenith is going to be in a lot of danger now, but he has a lot of teammates in the local area, but PZZ is going to have to flash away from the W of the Xinjiao. And look what's on the cards, though. 30 seconds until the Drake spawns. Both of these teams are definitely going to want to fight for it, and it's going to be Nova having control. And this is that play from earlier, the beautiful Glacial Fissure, absolutely wreaking havoc. But look at Akio go on that back line.
And look at yours positioning.
Look at Bram go on to Akio as he was able to blow him up. He uses the blast cone, but Neef fell to pin it. And this has just been absolute tactical masterclasses from these teams. Okay, maybe not that one. That was a bit of an overstep from Pinit. We're gonna pretend that one didn't happen. But then he plays this pretty well. But unfortunately, his teammate could not follow up.
Yeah, this was really unfortunate. It was still a really good effort from both teams to fight. But yeah, and here we can see the peak on Nerk. I mean, I talked about being a really strong defensive tool, but it won't be a defensive tool at all if you die before the objective.
Yeah, but now look at this. They're going to have to walk into the deep dark. Pinit going to be in the front line as the Nocturne ultimate is going to be used, and the Birdo lands on two! Pinit's in a lot of danger, so it's the backline though, as PCZ is going to be going in, but he just doesn't have enough help. Way ultimate over the top is not going to do enough. Ram takes almost no damage. Thief in the front line is going to be taking up a lot of bullets, but it's not going to be enough. Do they want to go for one more? No! They're in a lot of danger. Killy's going to be in that front line now. Here comes the flash forward, and they're going to have to cover for their supports. And they need to keep them off.
But you're
they kept them off. They kept them off. Neef doesn't get a kill. Somehow Pinit stays alive. And my goodness, this can still turn from bad to worse. Ram is coming back with a full health bar. They need to back down, but Near K has gone in a little bit too far forward, and Akio's going to be down. Yoru's going to be down. All the members drop, as it's just not enough from the side of Nova. And this is exactly why PXL are the #1 team in the league.
Hey, don't give up! They were so much behind in the early game, and then they kept trying and managing to push the opposing team whenever they made a mistake. And now here we are with PXL being a sole point, but Who's Jay tries another ultimate team?
Oh, look at that damage! Absolutely blown up. Pinit didn't think he was going to lose PZZ that fast. And even though he's building the health items you wanted to see, it's just not enough. Baron on the cards. And it's going to be a 4 against 3 to try to stop this. And keep in mind, Near K cannot do too much on his own as the jungler is up. Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to come through, and that's maybe the angle they want to go for. As you can see, the Bard's down to low HP, but Neef is going to keep Yoru away on the back side. As on the front side, the Bard ultimate's absolutely massive. Crescent Guard is going to be using near K, picks up a kill, but his teammate's going to die in response, and it's just not enough. PXL are the #1 team in the league for a reason, and they absolutely continue to dominate this match.
DK took so much time there with that Bard. He really didn't want to die in that moment, and that probably saved his team's chance of winning the fight. It was a really good play from him, and also from the whole PXL team as a whole. They resolved mid-game the issue I was talking about. Like, they finally started to be playing together and not uncoordinated like we saw in the early stages of the game.
And look exactly what's happening now. The kills are 18-18, but it is a 4K gold lead, and this is that pivotal fight. RWT just refuses to die, and you can see just a little bit of split pressure as Pinnet has no support due to the Bard ultimate, and the Glacial Fish are not going to be enough as PZZ went all out onto Bram, and it just was not enough. And then there's absolutely no front line with Pinnet down low, and Bram absolutely beautiful, got two with it. Neef saw that as his opportunity, and that forced Near K and Pinnet to come put in some work, which Near K, to his credit, put in a lot. And Neef, with the Scion passive, almost got another kill. But then that was just the rest of the overextension. They went back in and they perished for it. And then over at the Drake fight, or the Baron fight, excuse me. I mean, this one I don't absolutely hate. They gave up their lives to stop the Baron from being claimed. And hey, I mean, you only had to give up one, but right now, Nova are in a lot of danger if they want to turn this around.
It's gonna be really hard. The opposite team are on the soul point, and they're trying to find another peak, but not gonna be. It's gonna be an aggressive.
Yeah.
No, it's gonna be an aggressive.
Oh! Yoru's gonna take a lot of damage, but the ultimate from the Shen is gonna come through, and Near K got 3 on the backside. Bram's in trouble. Bram is down, and the problem is the rest of the team is not gonna be here. So Shen got stopped on the teleport, and now he's gotta come in on it, and it's just not enough. And now he's gonna teleport into only a grave. RWT is just absolutely melting this front line, and Pinnet cannot do anything. A beautiful play out of Neef, a beautiful point out by you. The ultimate got interrupted by Neef, and he absolutely needed to do it. And they finally get the Baron they wanted, as all 5 members are dead. And PXL, they did not start this game off hot, but they're gonna end it smoking.
And this Baron would probably also mean Soul, because they have third rate, 1 minute 20 to the spawn, all waves pushed, and they will have Baron to keep the push up and probably be able to get the take first and for sure lock it in. But Neef is at risk of an engage. I don't think he's really risking anything here. He will just escape, and he has the empowered recall.
Yeah.
They're
And
probably
now
trying
they're
to
gonna
go
set up for
Vision.
the soul. Yeah, now they're gonna set up for the soul, and I mean, what do you do to stop this? I mean, this is a massive issue, and I mean, this just doesn't look great for the side of Nova. I mean, what do they really have to do to find an angle back into this?
Now it's really hard.
This
and
isn't
for
it.
Sure not these. I'm not sure what they should do. For sure not trying to get peak. It's gonna be very difficult now that there's a lot of resources to dive in and to try to find engages and never playing defensively. Now I think it's maybe too late to play defensively when you're 8k gold behind and Near K is getting 6 and he's low. Now it's gonna be a really hard game to find the miracle engage, hoping to find some of the opposing team in the wrong position, but they don't even have the shield now to kill the enemy in case.
Yeah.
And this is just a big
This may
crowd
be
line.
it. Oh, oh, the bird ultimate actually saves him on the backside, but Yora's gonna go down anyways. PZZ next on the chopping block as the Stola is gonna be claimed. Neef has some work to do here as he can go for it. Not going to opt to do so, but Akio gonna be caught out by the Bard. Near K trying to chase him down to help with a little bit of anything, but it was just not an angle that K looked for, and Near K goes absolutely awry with the Q. Akio trying to dance away, but you're getting 1v1 to buy a Bard. You have to use the TP. You do get it out in time, but the game might be ending as over at the bounce it. Is just not enough. It's going to look for anything to keep him up, but the crossing guard is going to be enough, and there he goes. Akio left alone in a 1 versus 3, and all they can do is watch as PXL continue their reign of domination.
Wow, that was such a good game from PXL, especially from the mid game onwards. They really showed what they're capable of.
Yeah, and I mean, that game started off so right for Nova. Like that's what hurts, is that everything was going well to start, and then PXL just hit the go button, and it just hurts. We can take a couple of replay looks to just see where it all went wrong, and PXL just did absolutely beautifully, but I mean, this was just it just hurt to watch. I mean, Nova was doing so good, and then it was absolutely turned around. And I mean, this is just the power of PXL.
Yeah, indeed. And here we are seeing like probably
Yeah, the final fight here. I mean, it looked kind of good at first. You had the 4 versus 5. Near K got 2, and then you just see Yoru, excuse me, just goes way too far forward. PZZ caught on the wrong side of history, and you just see the fact that the team was split up. And we talked about we wanted to see the teamwork from PXL, and I think we got a lot more of that and a lot less of it from Nova.
yeah. Honestly, I think PXL. I didn't see this actually. This insane chase by Bard. Yeah, I think what Nova missed here is they tried to focus too much on what the Nocturne couldn't do in this game. It was being really aggressive, and they ended up having a Nocturne that can't engage anymore, but they didn't plan to play defensively with it. And also, Dick Kicker in the mid-late game really made it so hard to play defensively from the side of Nova Outlook, so congrats to him as well. Even after a shitty early game, it was such a really good mid. What they draft him for, so he ended up being not that useful as they hoped for sure. But
Yeah,
I think for now we will.
We're in break, right, Taylor?
No,
I'm in. Okay. I just wanted to get one final note before you send it off on me. The Nocturne did what they wanted to start, and then it didn't.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the problem, was you saw the fact that the fact that they had no follow-up really caught up to them. Like early on in the game, it worked. Later on, No.
Yes, I agree with that. But now we will head towards a small break, and then we will see each other on the next game in this series. Stay tuned.
Welcome back, everybody. We just saw a thriller of a game. PXL, the 1 seed, looked to finally be ready to go down, but they realized they've got a lot of fight left in them, and they took it back from the jaws of defeat. Now, Nova need to get 2 in a row to win this series, and you got a big question to ask. What are you going to do differently here? Because this next game cannot go that same way. They started off oh so strong. But Omi, what do you think was the big turning point that really turned it around for PXL?
I think it was PXL finally getting on the same page, and it was at the same time on the other side, Novautils not being ready to adapt to what changed during the game, and I think their lack of adaptability was the main issue that brought them to lose that game in the end. And I hope that we will see either a simpler draft from their side, one that is less that needs less strong flexibility during the game, or a better understanding of what exactly are you drafting for. That I think is something they missed a little bit in this game, and I hope we will see not missing in this second game. At the same time, playing against this PXL team is really scary for sure. From Now Outlaws, they are looking strong. They are looking ready to fight. They're looking almost locked in the playoffs at this point. So
I mean, PXL are a shoo-in for playoffs when you're playing this absolutely fantastically. And I think too, I mean, right there, I mean, Nova were doing so good, man, and then it just fell apart, and especially the Nocturne pick. I mean, I hate to harp on a guy. What was that Nocturne pick? It was bad in the late game, and we saw it there. We will be getting into the draft in 1 minute. We have a short delay. A player needs to check their PC real quick. You know how it is, guys. It's not a proper production without scuff. If it's a production without scuff, guys, you may need to call the cops. Those guys are they got some black magic going on. That's all I'm gonna say. But as we wait to get into the second game, Ami, the draft is starting. What do you think Nova needs to do differently with their draft?
as I said before, I think he's simplifying. I think they really need a more simple draft to play, an easier game plan to execute, and I think this is what they will look also for in this draft. We set the ban on Necrim, on Caitlyn. Those are target bans. RWT is a really strong Ekrim player, Ekrim OTP in his Sulk account, and they banned Maokai in the end. So trying to ban a good flex pick that PXL might have. While on the other side, the Oriana ban is a hand ban. Something really target bans, really strong picks. They can be one. What am I expecting from the side of Nova Outlaws as a B1? I think there are various possibilities. I think the Yunara is the simpler thing they can go for, and probably a good idea overall also banning Caitlyn. I think that is what they are looking for in this B1. I just hope they don't like B1 Vi or something like that, because
please no, please don't be one Vi.
They can really much counter it.
Yeah, I don't like Vi.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, so whenever I see teams B1 Vi, I just sit there and cry. Like I turn off the TV.
B1.
Now the Rek'Sai is an interesting one.
They went for the comfort.
Top or jungle. I'll throw a dog a bone. I've seen a couple of Rek'Sai supports. Maybe we get a little bit something interesting. Probably not, but it's my job to hype this up. Rek'Sai support. Rek'Sai support.
I don't expect
No,
with a jungler with an
nothing.
OTP Rek'Sai to flex Rek'Sai support, honestly. I'm gonna be honest with you. And they will answer with the Ezreal
I'd be
Karma.
surprised. Oh, is this the Ezreal being slammed? Ezreal Karma is such a dominant lane, and the Ezreal was banned in game one by Nova Outlaws. It wasn't banned here, which makes me a little interested, as maybe it's one you didn't want to see come out, as the Ezreal is in fact going to be locked in. And that means that no matter what you do with this bot side, you're going to be going against one of the strongest bot lane 2v2s.
Yes, it's gonna be hard in any case for the Nova Outlaws bot lane to find a good lane. I hope they will go for something that can make them survive the lane and maybe be useful anyway. I would like some Yunar Lulu, something like that. Even if they suffer a little bit in lane, they can still be really stronger. As Sivir works as well, works the same way. Probably works better than Yunara in the circumstance because she has the ricochet that makes her push waves so fast. So actually, that might be an even better option. Um, Actually,
Yeah.
one
Also,
thing.
chat, I appreciate you. Real quick, chat, I appreciate you doing research for me. I'm sending them to figure out how to pronounce the supports. No.
Oh, that's fight actually.
Whoa!
Never
Pike.
mind. They won't try to survive. They will try to murder the opponent team. Okay,
I mean,
that's another approach.
you don't need to survive when there's no opponents to survive if you just murder them. This is definitely a choice and a half. Gonna be interesting. And then the Mundo in response. I don't hate this. This should go into the jungle, but I expect to see a Gwen ban. As a Mindo player, the immediate thing I want to see banned is a Gwen. And the only reason I don't like the Mundo pick this early is because Mindo works really well as an R5 B5 slam, where you're like, hey, the other team doesn't have a whole lot of damage. Boom. How are you gonna kill it? So when you reveal it this early, you're giving two picks to try to figure out how to counter them.
I think I honestly I don't dislike them under here because you already know that you're against the Rek'Sai and the Pike, and Mundo is really strong against the bot picks, especially the Pike, and also Mundo can be a really strong flex. They don't know it's either gonna be jungle, it's gonna be top, where it's gonna be played. Uh, Only Neve between the two, also because of his champion pool being mostly tanks, um, is a Mundo player, but RWT also might pull out the Mundo. So I wouldn't like it, just in the case they decide to pick the other role now in R4. I would prefer to see them going for mid, probably maybe for an Ari or for a Talia. Actually, I think Talia. Okay, actually, the Thunder. Okay, this makes much more sense. But I think there are still Ziggs, there is Victor, there is Ari, all really strong picks. And here comes the Victor, and they keep the Mundo as a flex pick. Now, what do you want to do
Yeah,
from
and
now on close?
I need to see a bit more damage for this Mundo because Sivir, I mean, yes, she can shred a Mundo, but here's my problem when it's the ADC as a tank shredder is that, yes, it can be beautiful, but when it's anything other than Xayah, you can get blown up pretty quickly and then you're gone by the wayside and the Mundo runs free. And Azir would definitely be an option and a half. Do they want to lock it in? Is this a bait pick? We got to wait and see, and it's going to be locked in. We're going to get an Azir game, and that is one way to deal with a Mundo. Now, we will reveal where this Rek'Sai is going. I honestly... I'd like to see a double flex pick here. Another champion that can go top or jungle to try to make sure you snipe where this Mundo is going, regardless of the pick. And Ornn definitely could do a lot of
I
work.
don't think they will pick him into Ezreal, actually.
Oh, it's a Yone.
Okay.
That
they need a damage, you said?
Could, yeah, that could work. This Yone is going to go into the top side, and it will be Rek'Sai jungle like I called. Now, Yone top is definitely going to be an interesting one, but this is not a champion that's super easy to counter. I'd love to see a Yasuo in response, just have a little bit of fun in the top side. I expect this window to go into the jungle. That is generally where he is stronger. The Renekton also is the other champion I was looking at happening, and this top lane is going to be absolutely brutal. This bot lane is going to be absolutely brutal. The mid lane going to be absolutely brutal. And Mundo's going to sit in the jungle and farm. Yay!
Yeah, probably that's what's gonna happen. Okay. I mean,
quite
in a
literally
certain
how this
sense-
game's going to go.
Yeah, literally. In a certain sense, actually, I think Nav Outlaws did what we were talking about earlier, no? They simplified the draft. Their game plan is really easy. It's just murder the enemy. And, though the issue is it is a really volatile kind of comp, but they won the early game before. If they can manage to win the early game this time with this kind of comp, they might snowball much more strong than what they did last game. And that's, I think, what the Novatlas are looking for with these 5 champions picked.
Yeah, I mean, we said we wanted to see a simpler draft. I mean, this isn't quite what I'd call simple looking at Pyke and Yone and an Azir, but it's exactly the same concept. Just want to go in, they're just going to kill him. You're going to keep the Azir and the Sivir in the back line. You're going to use the shuffle in order to get him into your Rek'Sai, into your Yone. And this is the thing, is that it's more of a standard front to back team comp for PXL. And this is where it's going to be weird. Is that Renekton? One bad shuffle, and Sivir has a date with the crocodile. And that is quite certainly what you do not want. And so I'm especially going to look at this Azir to be careful with the shuffles. I feel like that's an underrated part of Azir is, are you being careful with where you are launching people? I've watched a team up 5,000 gold have their Azir launch the Renekton, launch the top laner into their ADC, get them blown up, and then the fight was done. So definitely going to be interesting. But what is your highlight lane here, Ami?
My highlight lane, this time is a little bit harder. I think, though, it has to be the bot again, no? Like,
I think it has.
But either the top, but you see Pyke, and you want to see Pyke on the screen,
Yeah.
no?
That is true.
But what can Pyke do? Pyke can roam a lot and roam in top lane and make the top lane with Yone and Renekton even more chaotic. And that would be something that would be fun to see.
I'm going to be honest with you. Like, yes, there's fun matchups in the top and bot lane. I'm looking at this mid lane. Because if this isn't a stock standard mid lane, if it doesn't play out how it's regularly supposed to, this could be big. Especially if that Azir gets going. I said I wanted to see damage for the Mundo. When Azir gets going, Mundo does not. Mundo suddenly only finds a death 5 feet below the sands, and this Azir can shred him down. And I think also, obviously, the Sivir is going to do a lot of work, but I think that if Azir gets ahead, this could be a game. So, there's fun matchups all around, but I think the biggest impact is going to be in the mid lane. I'm also interested to see how this Rek'Sai plays out. I haven't seen a Rek'Sai jungle in quite the long time. So I'm curious to see, does he want to go for the ganks early? Is he going to farm for 6? It's going to be a fun one here, especially with the Pyke and the Yone.
Yeah, I expect it's going to be a really more aggressive Rek'Sai. Like, usually Rek'Sai is picked in those kind of comps where Rek'Sai is the disrupt to some engage, maybe to the Shinzao is probably the most common pick you pick Rek'Sai against. But at the same time, in this game, you really can't beat the disruptor because you have nothing to disrupt. So you will probably have the Rek'Sai as a really strong follow-up on the dive of Pyke, Azir, Yone. The only thing Nova Outlaws have to be careful in the case they can get ahead is to not let the Sivir alone in the backline, because that's a risk they're getting, no? Because Sivir might might remain behind when Rexa dives in, Pike dives in, and Azir dives in, the Shema Shuffle, and Yun dives in. Uh, and yeah.
Well, the
And
nice thing is
another,
too,
yeah,
real quick, the nice thing is the Sivir has the Call of the Wild, so she can go in with them, or she can help get them out if the Yone needs to get out. I mean, the Call of the Wild is definitely a good engage and disengage tool. Maybe not as good of an engage, but I've seen it be used like that in order to help make sure that all members of the team are going in together. So this one's definitely going to turn out quite interesting here.
yeah, that's true actually. And the fact that Sivir is can be so fast and can help the team being so fast as well will make it harder for Ezreal and Victor to get their skill shot on her and actually punish her in the case she is left alone in the backline. And those Ezreal and Victor realistically won't be able to reach her. At the same time, what I was wanted to say earlier is that the PXL draft has a big issue that I can see is the fact that their damage is not obvious in the sense of they need the skill shots to land to do damage, and the damage needs time to be stacked. And the Nova Autos draft is a draft that doesn't allow time to be played. Like you can't try to play slow against a draft that is so explosive, like the one we are seeing from Nova Autos side. And the only way PXL draft can actually do that is by taking the range advantage and trying to play it with the long range. I think the range advantage is the main thing that goes for PXL in this game. That's why even if it's a really strong counter pick in the top lane, I don't really like the Renekton here because we
Yeah.
have him being a little bit of a odd champion to see here. I honestly would have preferred something else as a Juggernaut. Like if you want to play some Bruiser or Juggernaut, I'm not sure about the matchup in the top lane, but I would have
Zed.
preferred something like the Set or something like this because it's
Oh,
able
Zed could
to
also be a good one.
help with the disengage.
Yeah, and I think this is just where it's like, this is the thing about the top side is if you play for the 1v1, you may not always be playing for the team fight. And yes, then it feels good in the 1 versus 1, and it doesn't feel good in the team fight. But the funny thing is, I mean, these teams are fighting so much in game one, and that's where it kind of fell apart for Nova Outlaws. And they said, I mean, you tried to break through a wall by smashing your head against it, and it didn't work. So you decided to put on a helmet and then sprint through the entire wall. That is the vibes I am getting from the Nova Outlaws draft here, and I am all here for it. I love Bloody League of Legends when teams refuse to stop putting hands on each other and fighting. I hope we have another banger game in it for us here. I do have word from my producer. It'll take an extra moment. There's a little bit of technical difficulties, but as we wait to get in, I mean, it feels like they're edging us here. It feels like we have such a fun game right ahead of us, and it's not going to it's not going to start. It's like when you're waiting at the movies. But yeah, there's a slight tech issue. You will have to give us a second. But I mean, Ami, you mentioned you don't like the topside pick in Renekton. What do they have to do to make sure this Renekton works? Because we kind of saw last game the effect of picking a champion that doesn't work into your comp. So how do they make sure it doesn't turn out like that Nocturne did?
I think it's mainly a matter of you need to get the Renekton ahead. I think this is a game you don't want to match the opponent, the opponent jungler from the side of Navaltus. So you probably would like to have the Renekton being the main focus of of your team. So I expect a lot of ganks in the top lane from the side of RWT, a lot of focus, and actually on the other side I really like that exhaust that Pinot Marth took against his Renekton, because you don't want him to get ahead, otherwise the pick that is harder to play in the comp will become really strong. But yeah, I think it's gonna be important that Renekton is the focus on the side of PXL. That's why I'm not sure if I like this Mundo start in the top side to move bot side. I would have preferred the other way around. And also they didn't get the infos on the Rek'Sai, so they are not doing opposite side jungling because of a team decision. They're doing that because they prefer to move with top to bot, probably expecting a gank from Rek'Sai on the same direction, because that button is so important, and PXL is gonna have the prio for sure at minute 3:15. So yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting situation. Yeah. With now Mundo passing towards bot and Rek'Sai passing towards top. I think, especially with the Rek'Sai starting on Raptors, I think that Mundo will be able to get an invade and probably camp advantage like they did in game 1 with RWT getting the a faster clear in the early stages. I think that's something we will see again. And they invaded Raptors for the second game in a row. And here we can see the old 3 lanes, how they're being played at the same time. And Pooh.
Here comes Rek'Sai early.
Ah.
Yeah, Pooh's just... I mean, putting some pressure on early. Pooh's not going to be able to get Bram. He will put a ward down, but I mean, this is the advantage of the Rek'Sai versus the Mundo early, is the Rek'Sai can put some early laning pressure on a lot more than the Mundo. And so it's going to be interesting to wait and see how this plays out.
Wait, Victor had Ghost? I realized just now, after I said it. Okay.
Yes, sure chat, you will get me pronouncing the Karma's name to the best of my ability. There's absolutely no making fun of me, though. Absolutely not. But I will make sure to announce to my family and neighborhood that Dick Kicker is in danger, because that's how I read that.
I don't think it sounds pronounced.
Oh, no. And speaking of danger, Aki is going to be in it a little bit, as RWT does opt to go for an early gank, but it just really isn't going to work out for much. And this is exactly what you said about the Pyke, is that he can roam early and roam a lot. DRX, I'm American. I do not know how to pronounce it.
Oh no. Yeah, and in the end, the Mundo didn't decide to go for the invade. Decided to go for trying to find the counterplay mid, and then getting back to his crew to keep the farming up. And meanwhile, we have a replay of play top. Really good trade from Neef.
Yeah, and the thing is, Neef has a huge advantage early on. Oh, no.
Oh, that was beautiful.
That's where the exhaust went. But early on, you can see the CS difference already is almost 20. And that's the thing about this matchup, is that Neef does dominate the lane. But
yeah,
the thing about the Yone is he has such... Yeah, he has such utility, though, with his ultimate that it's not the worst if he's behind, but it still definitely hurts.
Yeah, this is gonna be the lane where PXL needs to win the most out of the three for sure. Also, in bot they should be able to, but it's not looking so bright with that CS difference in 4 minutes.
Oh my goodness!
It's almost 20 CS lead from the Silver. Karma and Ezreal are not finding the pressure they would like. And also Yoru, with the Nirx roaming, Yoru now has a really strong level 5, level advantage on Kitty. But they can now suffer a gank And they need to flash out.
Yeah, and I mean, it's nice that RWT is throwing some early support down here. But I mean, Yoru, I mean, this is how Silver goes. She's a farming machine. But my goodness, I mean, early on, and the Drake will be started up by RWT. And he must have some info that this Rek'Sai is top side to use the flash that early and feel, or not the flash, oh my goodness, the smite that early and feel good about it. But it is just a free Drake. I mean, not really any contention going to be seen from Nova Outlaws.
Yeah, but also Rek'Sai knows that they are bot. And Pulche is trying to look for a gank in the top lane. But Nif is the Domino's up. It's not gonna be easy. With also RWT coming from lane to counter gank. He knows where Rek'Sai is and is ready to help Nif in case.
Yeah, and I mean, the Rek'Sai is going to be here, and Poe is going to look for something, but not going to get anything. Neve is just absolutely dancing on this Renekton. But looking at the rest of the board, I mean, I mean that's the top and bot side are where the big differences are. But I mean, Ami, what do you do when you're down kind of this much CS early if you're either the Yone or the Ezreal? Do you just try to play safe and farm? Do you get aggressive and look for a pick? And what's your preferred method to get this back even?
I think for different reasons, but in bot case you should try to look for being aggressive anyway. For Yone is because you are absolutely the team that needs that needs to win this early game to win the game. So with the help of Rek'Sai, the moment Rek'Sai is top side, you should trade the HPs. Also, you have the power of the Nexus with you, so you have still an advantage that is usable against the opposite.
What is that back? I'm sorry.
Let's cover the whole screen.
What is that? Oh my god! I mean, we just saw I just saw a leak on Twitter about the new, I believe it was a Kai'Sa one in collaboration with the car company. That was amazing, but oh my god, that may be my favorite.
Yeah, that was a really big rate. Also, this is what you can do as a Yone. You can use your summoner spell to be sure to farm, be sure to crack the wave, and get an number advantage, and now Nif has a choice. Either it fights, or just stop.
Yeah, and this could be a lot of danger as near K is just a little too far in. Poe wanted to make sure that his support got out of there. Akio is going to be coming up too, but everyone's going to start to be here. 4 versus 4. Ezreal ultimate going to come out. You got to be careful of that. You got to know it's coming eventually, but it's going to go awry as the Void Grubs are the only ones going to be hit by it. But Dick Kicker is going to opt to go in, and he might have gone in a little bit too far as the shuffle is massive, but it's not going to be enough as the Yone ultimate is going to be used, but it's just not doing enough. And the support is still alive. Poe uses his ultimate, but it's just in vain. And it's a 2 for 1. As that one was such a close fight, but it just doesn't go their way.
Yeah, but the positive side for Nova, other than that single Void Grab, is that this wave will be really good for Peanut now. He will be able to gather some resources this time, farm some minions that he couldn't before, because Nif decided to go to the fight, and now the wave stuck under his tower, and now it bounced back on Navarro, and he didn't get as much CS I thought it would have got actually, but yeah, it's a really small win actually, not even that much as it didn't go how I expected, because he's trying to fight in the top lane actually.
Yeah, and Killy has to be a bit careful of these Qs. They do a lot more damage than you'd think. I know as someone who's played against quite a lot of Sivers, I'm like, you know, it won't do that much damage, it's fine. And then suddenly half my health bar is gone and I'm regretting everything. But I mean, this bot side just continues to kind of spiral out of control as a kicker is going to be pulled forward and take quite a lot of damage. But over to the top side, the CS is actually more even, but there's a lead in the mid lane as Bram picked up the 2 kills from that team fight at the Void Grabs.
And he gets the Torture is really important to start already pushing waves so fast even before the E of Victor gets empowered. So it is really good.
Yeah,
and let's see how he got those 2 kills.
Yeah, I mean, the shuffle was great, but there was just not enough damage. I mean, Poe tried to go in on the backside, but it's just RWT does not die on this Mundo. Neef doesn't die on the Renekton. And early on, at least, you just don't have enough damage, and that's kind of the concern of things as they look to start to stack these Drakes. And I'm a big fan of Drake stacking. I don't like letting other teams Drake stack, but you're just gonna have to let it go here as Near K gonna look to go on to Bram, but the hook completely misses. And I mean, this is just these teams have to be so careful here. Any misstep, it feels like, is going to be it for your life, as both of these teams have such high caliber players.
And now it's starting, the time is starting to tick in. The clock is ticking for Nova Outlaws. They know they need to do plays now. And
oh, that's gonna be it on the bottom side. Yoru trying to body block, not going to be able to do it as Finn is going to get out on the top side, and Yoru's going to actually flash it, but Killy somehow pulled out too! Oh my goodness!
Okay, Killy.
Oh my god, and Finn could be in a bit of trouble, but the Q3 is going to get him out of there as RWT is going to opt to go in, and Pros is going to be here with the follow-up, but they're not going to look for the big fight. Neef did pop the dominance. Poe actually does want the fight, but he gets smacked away by the Heart Steal. But my goodness, we need to get a replay of that 2v2 from the bot side when production gets the chance. Killy with some absolutely beautiful dance moves, teaching you how to do it, as it was phenomenal. Now Near K wants a little bit of an invade. RWT becomes a bit more aware of his potential presence here, but I mean, you mentioned it in the draft. Near K is not going to be afraid to roam here, and that's precisely what he's doing. He does want to try to get a little bit of a steal. Can't get anything going, though. But already, I mean, it's a 1K gold lead again, and it feels like PXL are in a lot more control, as when you look at where the gold is, it's on the kill. What happened on that bot? Shield not enough. Kicker going to be in a lot of danger with the Pike ultimate as the boomerang blade is going to bounce through, but Killy, excuse me, flashing forward, looking for Near X, gonna get him, pops the barrier, and the flash from Yoru just not enough as the skill shots come through, and that is a top level fight between two amazing players. And as we go back to live time, it's just gonna be Near K dying as the Arcane Storm comes out, and Akio could not keep his support alive. Oh, on this top side, Neef may be in a little bit of danger as he was exhausted. Pinnock gonna have to snap back to reality eventually, and he will. He has the ultimate if he wants to use it, but I don't think he can close that gap. He'd have to Q3 flash all, and that is a risky one.
If he gets Q3, if he has the up in 2 seconds, I think he can actually.
Yeah,
like
maybe.
Can't move near him.
Neef does have the flash, but. Oh, this is not one I'd want to take under the turret, as he's going to just take the little bit of Crystalline overgrowth damage, and I mean, now Poe is here. This could be a bait and switch. The bait and switch is going to be coming in here in a second if they want to hit that go button. RW2 senses something's up, trying to get there for his top laner. But here goes Poe. Neef's going to be in a lot of danger as the Yone ultimate is going to be used enough. This is not enough as RW2 is going to be taking a lot of damage down. They're going to go under the turret for him. Akio's here as well. Akio looks for the shuffle, not going to get it as RW2 is going to pop the ultimate. And Pinna just took a lot of damage, and they get one back, as they will be able to drop them And oh my goodness, it's a 2-for-1 on the top side. Maybe a little bit more about to happen on the bot lane as Killy's going to be in a lot of danger from the Q of Yoru. And Yoru takes a tower shot, so he's going to have to back off.
And now with also this mid almost falling.
Oh no.
Oh, never mind. It's another fight.
Oh, maybe in danger. No, he says, I'm not in danger. You're in danger. Brand's going to be under a lot of pressure from Akio, and he's going to have to flash the wall. And that one works out. But Poe is really getting active for his team here, making a lot of plays, but on the bottom side, Keely going to make another play. Oh my goodness, we have replays galore to explore between that top side 2v2 and whatever just happened on the bot side. Seems like both barriers were used and both ultimates were used in that fight, but ultimately Killy just dances a lot better than you do.
And this is probably gonna be the time to set up for this third raid for PXL. They can just do it now at spawn. They have the player advantage, and Pulche is going to take the third. Not a great trade, but a trade nonetheless.
Yeah, as we look at that top
we
side.
can see it split up again.
Yeah, and look at Poe's patience. Oh my goodness, I would not have been that patient, but he knows when the correct moment is. The dominant ceiling just not enough. And RWT was in a lot of danger too. And Akio just whiffing here with the shuffle, just barely. He does take the turret aggro for a moment, but it's not enough for Pinot to survive. And RWT does get a kill back. And then here's the bot side, what you wanted to see. The dancing between the ADCs, absolutely high level, is both ultimates were not enough, but Yoru eventually fell as he was down a level.
That would be really unfortunate if he cancelled the basic.
Yeah, Poe has to be careful here. Do not underestimate Dick on the karma. Chat, I hope you're happy. I can't wait to be applying the cast for Riot, and they're gonna be like, so what's this clip of you calling a guy a dick kicker? That's exactly how my application process is gonna go.
Oh my god.
Supports maybe wanting to just trade some ward money. That's the funny thing about supports fighting for wards, is they're not actually fighting for the kill or anything. They're fighting for the ward. But I mean, just looking across the board, the top lane CS is, oh my god, I can't get over that Pike one. The top lane CS is actually even almost scary enough, as they're going to see the hook come in and it's going to land. Dick Kicker's going to be in a lot of danger. He's going to have to flash out of there, but Killy quickly there with the follow-up. But this is what I'd like to point out. Look where the kills are for the side of PXL. It's a 2k gold lead almost, and both of their carries are 3-0, and that's what's going to be scary. But what's even scarier is when the Rek'Sai is coming for you. Nave recognizes he has to burn the flash. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Pike recall is definitely distracting, as Pinot looks for a little bit more, but I mean, you got to be careful here. The next Drake isn't up for a while, but the Baron is. And this will be the top side tier 1 going down. We'll try to get as many minions killed as possible. As screwed up as that sounds, teammates, go die, 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 die. That sounds selfish, but in League of Legends, it just makes sense.
Yeah, one thing I'm kind of scared for Nova Outlaws is that now we are at a situation where you can't win the trade in any case. Baron is spawning, Drake is spawning, and it's Soul Drake for PXL. Nova Outlaws are not in the current position to decide which one to do, so it's mandatory for them to try to find a pick, to try to find a fight.
What?
To
how is Yoru
able to take the trade?
Yeah, how is Yoru ever up a level on Killy? I just checked the CS though. That explains why both are at 2 items. These ADCs are genuinely even. based on the CS difference, and Pinu gonna have to snap back to the reality of the fact that he cannot get the solo kill that he wants, as a Dick Kicker
He really wants
was
it,
there
though.
for the coverage. And
He really
here it
wants the
comes.
kill. But actually, about the bot lane,
giant
it's
worm is on
also
the rift.
Pyke. Sorry.
Go ahead.
It's also Pyke roaming a lot. And the roaming a lot, so Yaru took a lot of solo XP. So that's why they're really even with the XP difference, I think.
Yeah, because Yoru actually has the XP advantage right now. But
True.
look at the movement of the team. Look at that bot side. Just 3 members moving to make sure they have control. And the next Drake is up in a minute. But the problem is PXL, they can just trade this Drake for a Baron. They need to try to figure out how to not give up both objectives, as now, and the perplexing question, what do you do? Chat, I want to hear your answers. What do PXL and Nova Outlaws do? Definitely don't get caught. That's how you start with it. But what objective do you go for? Because it's a triple Drake stack for PXL. Absolutely nothing for Nova Outlaws. They don't have control of this river, though. You can feel the fight brewing. RWT in the front line. Ward's gonna spot out in near X or near K, but now Penu gonna look for a little bit of chip damage, and RWT is gonna be in the front line. And here goes the engage. RWT taking a lot of damage. Zaki is gonna take some in return. This Drake is gonna be spawning in 10. Gotta make a move. What's your call if you're the Nova Outlaws? They're actually calling to go for the mid laner, and they might have caught killing, but no, it goes awry, and there goes Deep. Deep is gonna pop the dominance, he's gonna be exhausted up. Rift Herald spawn, keeps them at bay. Tower gonna take a lot of damage from that one as the charge comes through. They're trying to back him down now. They know they've given up the Drake pit. This river is not theirs. Neef, no dominus, no ultimate on Pinnock. Both of these top laners have nothing. Yoru and Killy do not have their ultimates either. That's the big thing you have to keep an eye on. And there goes the shuffle, but he's going to be taken down in response. Steve is getting a lot of damage. Pinnock couldn't get there, and one member falls. And look at the Drake. Look at the Drake. RWT is going to take it. He's got it all on his own. Pose is just realizing something's up. Cannot go in time, and it's going to be the soul point. A Kentech soul on RWT, and the rest of the members
And the double flash.
They might have been caught out. They're gonna be caught out. He wants it. This crocodile knows they're in a lot of danger now. Flasco gonna go over, but here comes RWT. Yoru gonna go down. Minos up next. Snap back to reality, son. The reality is just dead. PXL are the best team in this league, and they will not be stopped. BRK gets a kill in return on the Killy, but he's gonna fall in response.
Wow, that was really insane from PXL. And now they're gonna get Baron, unless Jake can find the miracle steal that might keep them in the game. That is the only way he can probably still have a chance to win this game.
Got the vision, can't see what's going on. Control board's gonna spot him. Miracle steal, gotta get it here. V's gonna flash forward and he gets the steal! Oh my goodness! He's gonna use the ultimate, here goes Echo with the massive shuffle! Gets one, can't get two though! Both members drop, but the Baron steal comes through! Ultimates popped across the board, and my goodness, that will keep the game at least somewhat in balance.
Yeah, I wouldn't say imbalanced, but for sure they're still alive. They still can say something. They have the Baron, they can contest the push, and now setting up this Elder Dragon won't be that easy for PXL. Also, I think PXL between the two drafts is a draft that for sure uses. Oh, never mind. I was about to say they would have used less the Kentech Soul, but actually it's not. With the Mundo and the Renekton and the Karma, no, you will use the Kentech trades mostly. But yeah, it's now at least Navarros will have some room to breathe, some time to get their items up. Probably trying to look for that third item on Seaver, that big spike that is gonna be the Infinity Edge, and the third item on Yone, hopefully, and then they will maybe be able to contest. Though it's still really difficult to find decent fights now from Nova Outlaws. their best way is still trying to look for picks and look out of position players around the map, and that is something they
Yeah.
aren't being able to do right now.
Hold on, I was gonna say we can send it to a replay. Maybe not. Pinna is in a lot of danger. He has a teammate in the area, but do they know about this? And here, K gonna finally show his face, and they're gonna back off. Nothing should come of this, but be careful of that top side. He's gonna opt to go in, and he's gonna land the stun as he's going to not pop the dominus yet, as he's stunned up by the pullback from near K. His turret's in a lot of danger, so is Pinna as he takes some damage. But over across the map, the bot, or the mid-tier 2, excuse me, falls. Pinna gonna use the ultimate. He's gonna look to go onto the support. Dick Kicker's gonna be in a lot of danger, but he's gonna have to snap back to the reality of the fact that he can do absolutely nothing. PXL are just too far ahead to be stopped in the spot lane. Hold on, this isn't done. Akio trying to go in, not gonna get anything. And just as I thought nothing was gonna come of that, I thought, I honestly thought that nothing was gonna come and they were gonna back off, but then Pinna hit the go button. And that's the thing, is that he's kind of been a little over ambitious in this game, but now we have a quiet moment. Maybe we can get a look at some replays. Neef should be able to get out of here. And finally, after so many long years of fighting, we have a quieter moment to look over this Baron steal. Pose and has no clue what the Baron's at. He flashes forward, stuns up the Mundo, and smites it. And then Akio with the shuffle, it lands onto 3, but unfortunately Neef is just too strong and was able to dash back over. And then right here, and just, I mean, the ultimate lands, but you can just see there's no follow-up plan. And then Near K gets absolutely decimated by the Chalice of the Mundo. And that's kind of where we stand, is the fact that this Mundo is really powerful along with the Renekton, and you're just not really able to kill both of them.
Now it's really, really hard. They are so tanky, but now Peanut can look for a play. He finally will be able to get the solo kill he really wanted from the solo game.
Yeah, he's gonna pick this up solo. Neef tries to pull off a smart play with the flash, but the rest of the team gonna be coming in. And here comes the rest of both teams. Neef is healing is so amazing. Oh my goodness! Dominus gonna be popped, and this is why the Renekton's one of the best top laners in the game. Peanut trying to dance for his life, but boy, you didn't bring your dancing shoes. Killy 4-1 here on this Estriel, and what a game he is having. What a job by Neef to wait to pop the Dominus. My goodness.
Oh. Yeah, I talked about the Renekton as the weak link in the PXL draft, but I didn't consider the name tag on it. Neef is playing a fantastic game on this champion.
It's like how Faker can pick up any champion and make it look good. I mean, my goodness. We had our concerns, but apparently we didn't have Neef's name written enough on our whiteboard for notes for this game. I'm sorry, Neef. Next time, all I'll put is Neef, 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 as this man has been an absolute monstrosity. So has his team. Direct yourself to the kills and deaths at the bottom. I mean, this has just been a phenomenal game out of the side of PXL. And with that Elder Soul spawning in 10 seconds, you can feel it coming. This may be the end. Yoru has to be the one to stay safe, as Akio has to get a massive shuffle. They are down 4K gold, 3.5K, excuse me. As this is going to be it. RW2 is going to start up the Elder Soul, and who's going to hit the go button first? Dick Kicker's going to look to go on with a stun. Not going to land anything, though. A lot of poke coming through. Near K, when does he want to hit that go button? Once he finds it, that's the go! There goes the go for it. Such a bump it up, but it's not going to be enough, as he's not going to find anyone. Akio has to go into the chamber. That's it. Neef is in the front line. He busts it up, and he's staying alive, and on the backside, here goes Spurf. Benot is doing a lot of damage, but may not be enough. It's just not enough, as everyone's gonna drop. Dear K has a horror story to tell. My goodness! PXL are simply inevitable!
The fight was so good. They find the right engage, right angle, but it just lacked the damage. They couldn't close the fight with that low amount of damage, but they did everything that was in their power. Probably the only thing that could have been better was maybe a more patient near K to find a better ult to go in deep into the opposite team. But with that ult from Yone, with that engage from Rek'Sai, they just needed a little bit more coordination with the Azir as well, and especially more damage because they just lacked that. But Axel, Axel was in a really good position there.
Axel just goes in. I mean, he thought Pinot was going to ultimate, and it's a beautiful ultimate from Pinot, but Poe just doesn't do enough damage. Bram doesn't die until now, and by the time he dies, the Arcane Storm has claimed your life. As thank you, production, for letting us look at the best part of the Nova Outlaws game, and it's that back. As nothing has gone right for them here. Pinot does a little bit of scouting and realizes they're on the Baron. One more for old time's sake. Accio gonna have to teleport in. What's the go angle though? No way into the back line until Near K gets his way through. He's going to recognize it's down to half HP, but Akio's just not going to come. Akio's just not going to come. They're going to look to turn this away. Pinot is going to look for a little bit of more damage, but it's just going to be the Baron claimed. A little bit of a counter map, or cross mapping, excuse me, coming out from Akio, but it feels like it's just a tiny bit of compensation as they open the first tier 3, I should say. Or the bottom tier 3. I mean, that's the funny thing is none of the tier 2s are down for Nova Outlaws, but PXL are about to change that as here comes the onslaught. Bye turrets.
Yeah, their siege now is really, really strong with the Baron, and with all that big inventories. They have a really full wallet, and they are kind of hitting the enemies with it. And the tower.
They want to
it's gonna be really
trying
hard.
to back him down. Poe is looking for an angle on the side lane as Dictator is going to take a turret shot. But I mean, they're looking for any angle back into this. Maybe this is it. As Zenith is going to be pulled back and they're going to try to get some chip damage. He is down to half, but the Karma Shield is just nice. And this may be the time to go. They're going to finally be backing down. Near K going to try to hook him, but he can't land it. And RWT has so much health in that front line. Bram gonna build up the counter push here on the top side, and my goodness, is it a massive one, as all the turrets are falling and they're just trying to hold on, and this is going to be the go angle as Pinot's going to go forward, and they actually found it!
Oh, no, really?
They found their angle! There goes the fourth team is in the middle of them all! Nate, what are you doing? Your teammates are already dead! Son, you gotta pay attention, this Poe's going to be in a lot of danger, he's going to use the ultimate.
He's dead!
He's going to be ignited, he's going to be dead! Bram maybe next on the chopping block, he wasn't looking either! Oh my
goodness, the damage
Team
though!
Storm gets a kill! But my goodness, they needed a miracle, and they found one. And look at the gold. It's only 2K. They're going to get a lot more back for this. First member up is Dick Kecker in 10, followed up with Killian 15. But my goodness, you needed a miracle fight and you found it. Let's take a look at that. Pinot, we've been judging him all game, but the ultimate comes through. Near K with the follow-up, and it's just absolutely phenomenal. Neef was caught on the wrong side of history after an ill-advised teleport, and Bram, I don't know, Bram wasn't paying attention, man. Bram watched his friends get run over by a car and said, they won't hit me next, as he was taken down too. And that fight is going to bring this gold lead back even. And suddenly, Nova Outlaws have come back from the ashes.
Yeah, we talked about PXL's resilience during first game, but actually the resilience here is being showed by Nova Outlaws. They're just refusing to lose this game with that fight. They're finding great angles into great angles and try to contest everything they can at the best of their possibilities, even if they are really still really team possibilities. And now 1 minute 24. Elder Dragon coming up. He's the second Elder Dragon of the game. And it's gonna be one of the focal points of this whole series. Will Navarro be able to...
also, real quick, shout out production for the quick turnaround on these replays, guys. You don't understand how hard it is to make the replay that fast. The kitchen is cooking us up from some 5-course meals, and it's absolutely delicious. You guys should definitely spam W production in the chat. These guys have been absolutely phenomenal tonight. But RWT now gonna look to fend them off. And that's the thing, is it's 40 seconds away from the next meal here on the Rift, and PXL still have the advantage though. And that's the one thing for Nova Outlaws, is they found the miracle fight when they weren't grouped up. They need to catch him out again. Maybe this is it with Neef not there. Neef has no teleport. He has no way to join if they decide to hit the go button now, but they don't want to do it. And I mean, here they're just going to try to push him back, and they want to get the mid prio. But the problem is you're giving up the wave prio, or the river prio, excuse me, and RWT gonna take some damage, gonna have to get out of there. And here we go. Near K is gonna hook the support, but it's not gonna be enough as Gilly's gonna be there, and there goes the shuffle. Caught 2 of them. Bram's gonna be isolated, but Poe is gonna be taking a lot of damage. Akio goes into space and so does Bram, and here comes the Smurf. It's gonna do a lot of damage as Near K is gonna be able to pick up the kill, but it seems they're just dying on the backside, and it's not enough. They got the miracle, but ladies and gentlemen, the clock strikes 12 eventually, and it's gonna be their time. They're not even gonna go for the Elder. They know it's a risk, and they're just gonna opt to try to break the base further, and we will play on.
And this wasn't enough, but PXL didn't go for the safe route. Didn't decide to take that Elder Dragon, and are now pushing. It's gonna be really, really difficult, but if Peanut and Nerds can't take enough time... Oh no, they won't. Oh no, they won't. Just went in a little too early.
Yeah, and it's just over here. Near K has to do a lot. Here comes the Azir. Akio's gonna have to do a lot, and it's just not gonna be enough. Massive shuffle comes through, and it's just not enough as PXL continue to dominate this league with another strong victory here today. Absolutely phenomenal from them.
Really, really phenomenal. Navarro's really fought with their tooth and their nails to try to stay alive in this game at the end, but it just wasn't enough. It was really, really such a good showing from PXL even in this game too.
Yeah, and we can take a look back at this final fight, and it's just another story of them being split up. I mean, they found Bram alone, but look how much damage he does. Yoru can't step forward. Akio's already dead. Poe is dead, and Poe just doesn't have enough health to survive. Near K looks like the best member in that fight, and he's the Pike, as it just wasn't good enough. And I mean, just as we were saying, teamwork, 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 we see it fall apart at the end with a fight on 2 fronts. And shout out to Bram and Neith. Those boys were cooking. I mean, Bram pulled off so many amazing plays and really made so his team did not have to worry about him.
Yeah, they really, really showed why they are the best team in the league at this moment, and who will be ready to counter their current position, who will ready to challenge them. Currently, the second best team is Lobster Albe Crepusculo. They are the only other team without losses in this moment, so also good chi. So if one team might be able to challenge them for that place, it's gonna be probably one of those, and but they will have a hard time for sure after what we saw today.
Yeah, and I mean, what a job by PXL. Like after that miracle fight, it looked like it was going to be rough, but they turned it around. Also, huge shout out to our boys on production tonight from the Studio Prototype. These guys did an absolutely amazing job tonight. Thank you all for the absolutely beautiful work on the production. Make sure to check these guys out. They are absolutely deserving of the best. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much everyone for joining us here tonight at Zenith League. A great job by PXL, really showing why they're one of the best. That will be all from us here tonight. Make sure to tune in for our next streams coming up tomorrow, I believe. Correct, Tommy?
Yes, tomorrow for
Or
Division
is it-
2.
Yep, tomorrow for Division 2. Make sure to tune in, guys. Thank you so much for joining us here at Zenith League, and we will see you all next time. Have a great night.